For this exercise, what you'll need is a fairly long stick, up to, half a meter in length. I found this stick when I was out walking with my dog. At the end of the stick, what you'll do is tape either a pencil or a piece of charcoal. Next, you're going to attach your paper to a drawing board in order to prop it up against an easel. If you don't have a drawing board or an easel, then you could tape your piece of paper to a wall. That'll work as well. And another option, if you don't have an easel, is to lean your drawing board against the back of a chair. For this drawing, pull up the reference image and make sure that you have it to the side of your easel or your drawing board so that you can stand back and view both your drawing board or piece of paper and the reference image within the same view. So you want to be able to, sort of flick your eyes back and forth between your reference and your drawing, and then start drawing. You will find this drawing very challenging, I think. The marks are going to be very awkward, quite choppy. It's likely that you'll only be able to draw lines and marks in one direction. This exercise is the most challenging for controlling your line work. The further back that you hold your drawing tool, the less control you have over it. But this is an important one. All too often, we only ever hold our pencil the same way that we do when we're writing, but drawing is a very different visual language to writing. So it's super important to explore what kinds of marks can be created if you hold your drawing tool differently. As you can see, I'm really struggling to draw shapes of any kind in a controlled sense, or to make normal, sort of idealized shapes of the muscle forms. I'm doing my best to draw the figure in the pose that I see, but I simply can't rely on my habitual style or mannerisms, let's say, which usually help me out. So as a result, I'm attempting to draw the pose section by section, like the arm and this side of the body first. In this pose, there is a strong tilt in the upper body compared to the legs, so I'm trying to make that stand out at this point and sort of hope that it anchors the drawing for me. Now, one thing that I did notice in this drawing is that a method like this, where you're using the stick in a very sort of staccato, kind of choppy manner, well, it just really lays bare exactly what you're thinking about when you are drawing. I could see very clearly from this process that I'm focusing on trying to express this idea of the roundness of the forms. It wasn't great, it was difficult to do that, but I suddenly realized that that's what I was doing as I was drawing. So that was a really interesting thing to note, and I was very glad that that was the case, because it's a good thing to be aware of at something like that, even though the drawing itself is not good in the sense of the outcome or the finished drawing. The benefit that you'll get is through this process. It's a really useful exercise to point you towards drawing with clarity and observation. So naturally, some of the drawing is wildly inaccurate. The stick is such a difficult drawing tool to use, and the marks that you make are very limited. It's very hard to make a circular or rounded mark or to draw shading. So I found that directional lines seem to be the best, and cross-hatching like that seem to be the best thing to fall back on. Following the directions of the forms, drawing lines in just one direction like that really helped me a lot in this process. I will say that this pose looks, deceptively simple, but it's not an easy pose to draw. There are a lot of very subtle tilts and twists throughout the body that if you don't draw them correctly, the drawing might end up looking very flat. And I know this because I've actually tried to draw this pose previously in my normal regular drawing sessions. And I was really surprised that today, with the stick drawing, I was actually much more successful in getting that tilt of the upper torso and getting the subtle tilt in the horizontal axis of the shoulders. That seemed to emerge much more easily for me. Again, likely because I'm not thinking about it and I'm not trying to control it as such. I'm just simply following the lines and the shapes and trying to match what I see with some sort of marks that I can make. As you can see, I'm also shifting the drawing anytime I see that there needs to be refinement or correction, but I'm not erasing out any of the lines. I'm just redrawing it where I need to. There's so much to be learned from an exercise like this, and it's probably one that we could work on multiple times and get better at it the more practice that we do. Drawing like this takes you out of your structural academic mindset and lets you really deeply access observation and connection in your work. So give this a go, and when you're ready, meet me in the next lesson.